So my host Jamie. This is Denbrook right here, my guest. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Good afternoon or good evening from all the viewers and listeners. My name is Denbrook, but I go by Mr. Handsome XL.
Sir, yes, sir. And I'm gonna talk a little bit how I met this man. Man, we met at work. Honestly, we both work at the mental hospital. Man, we both mental health techs. Denbrook, I know you have uh, a clothing brand that you want to. I know you probably want to introduce it. You know, want to talk about it. We gonna let them check it out real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. Yeah, I got my Mr. Handsome XL underwear for the thick man out here. Cause I can see I'm a thick dude, 6'8", and it's kind of hard for some of his brothers to be sharpened. But yeah, I do have that. I have that on my Mr. Handsome XL on my Instagram. You can check me out on Jamal Lingham on my Facebook, and I do have my website coming. So I'll be pushing it through. I got some stuff on Twitter, but I don't really get into the Twitter stuff because that's my other side. But yeah, it's pushing through. I done been selling a few things, got my LLC, so like it's pushing.
Nice.
So if you want to check it out, just check me out by Mr. Handsome XL at gmail.com.
Nice.
Some things I can put out there so I can
Okay.
see.
Hey, so when did you get your LLC? That's actually one of the questions I want to ask.
Actually, when I got my LLC, when I first moved out to Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
when during COVID time, because I moved out from up north, from originally from Dorchester, Massachusetts, the bean, as we say in Boston. So when I moved out here,
Cool.
it was like more harder back up north to get your LLC. It was like 5 something. Then when I came to Georgia, it was 119. I went through LegalZoom and they showed me the process. Then it started working. Then it came through. I had to get my name brand, all the stuff I had to do, like legal terms. If anything happened, we get sued. So they go through all the steps and they help you on that process to going through the setting up your own LLC. And somebody put me on this girl I knew back at home. She put me on the LegalZoom instead of going through all the hard parts
Right.
about going down through the state, paying for that. They all do like one big package.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, man. If and I want to expand on that, man. Like, if you have an idea, or if you have something that you want to do, if you want to something you want to brand and produce, man, go for it, bro. Just like this is everything's out there, man. You just gotta look for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's everything's out there for you. But just like I just got my LLC. I got a friend that actually put me on to doing that, man. I think that was probably one of the best ideas I could have done coming out of college, man. Just find your own path, do your own path, man. Whatever is you, do it, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's most certainly true. True. Sometimes
Yeah.
I got a sword.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you gotta take a step, bro. Even if it's uncomfortable, just go ahead and do it. It's okay. All right. But you already told us where you grew up in Massachusetts, so I kind of want to skip to how did you end up being a mental health tech? Because again, the if you haven't looked at the link below, the topic today is mental health. So I want to hear how you started out being a mental health tech. Like, how did that happen for you, and how has it been going so far?
Well, because I had to pay for bills. I wasn't really trying to be a tech. Because back at home, I was a medical case manager. You do like medication as well as tech work. It's kind of different from up north than down here. So we don't say tech, we say mental health counselor or case manager. All depends
Okay.
what area or hierarchy that you're in. But it's still all in the same realm. But I got into it because I was back at home. I was working with kids, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for work. I was like couldn't do retail. Retail, I was always getting fired. I like that, and I was always like the talkative person. I get fired in a minute because it's like I ain't with the stock and shit. But
Right.
when I got into mental health, it was like, well, you talk to people. Somebody told me to apply for this position. I think it was like back at home. It was the tiny home for children. I started off working with kids. Then I didn't like so much doing the restraints. Then somebody put me on for working with sex offenders. I worked with sex offenders, but it was kind of weird. But it was more like you can talk to them, write up plans with them, and hear both sides of the fence, how they see things, and to get in their social norm. I liked it for a little bit. I did that for 3 months. Then I got into more like detox and more like tech work, like working with people, getting into 12 steps. I did a lot of detox work back at home with over like 21 patients, male, females, and as well with the kids. And it gets like really interesting because you see a lot of different stuff because their drug of choice is different. Some people drug of choice and how people really get into that social norm that they lose it. Like I feel like when people go into the mental hospital, they come out worse sometimes because
Really?
they get so addicted to medication and at the
Okay.
process of getting better or so addicted to the process of living there and not saying, hey, I'm gonna go to group to be better because somebody's telling me to go to group, not because I want to do it for myself.
Right.
Or I get cigarettes, or I don't got nowhere to go because if my parents kick me out, family kick me out,
Then that's the only place.
that's gonna open up the
Yeah.
door. Or you go into the shelter, and the way the shelter's going, it's still rules. But saying you crazy, psych ward, they give you free drugs, you get high, smoke breaks, they run up your insurance, then you get out. But as back at home, you get Medicaid, it can turn into long term that they can be in a psych ward up to 6 months and be labeled to the state and just a state kid or a state adult. Here, it's kind of like I think they run up the insurance like a revolving door so much that they're back to the streets, come there, back to the streets.
Right.
So it's never, no, let me glide and get better. It's more so, I'm just stuck and this is what it is. And sometimes it's the truth. After 35 and 40, what can you really too much do to project your life if you already then became a person that knows you have a mental illness? And it's not like every person that has a mental illness is gone, they can't go to work. It's just sometimes people don't care about their diagnosis and they get lost or don't have the support. Especially in the black community, we don't really go over mental health illness because we don't have the support because we always label as being dangerous.
Right.
Or this person don't have nobody, or we were just taught as growing up Caribbean background or other households not to talk about it so much, or you have to get over it, or some things you have to use working out, the gym, going to work, or they're always saying going to church.
Do you think social structures affect or the way people view, especially minorities? Do you think that affects our mental health, and how much do you think it affects us? Because from what I've seen, I mean, I've only been in tech for a few months, but from what I've seen, especially working at I wasn't working at the hospital initially. I was working as a behavioral aid at a group home, and it's like it's interesting to see the way, especially just kids, like they develop this mindset that this is how their life is gonna be, so that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's there to tell them any different. They don't see any different because that's the only thing that they've ever lived. So again, and that's the way the world is structured. You got people who think that the life is one way, and then you got people who are raised and developed and almost trained to be a certain type of way. See that especially with white kids, they're conditioned to learn how to make money, man. Like they're conditioned to what I'm saying, to ignore some of those things that people are saying. You know what I mean? So basically, I guess I can go back to my question. My question is, how much of a role do you think social structures play in the mind of a person?
It can play in the mind to a lot because again, the social structure can be different from, like you said, color, like how they raised certain white kids to know, okay, even though you did something bad, it's glorifying saying it's okay. And if you said to somebody, I ain't gonna try to say the person of color, or I'm gonna just say people of color are getting treated more differently. Like we did it. Oh no, you're just crazy or you're bad. Then somebody saying, hey, he needs medication or there's something wrong, and you see that a lot. And I hate to say that color plays a factor, but it does play a factor with mental health and with the social media because some things will be acceptable from certain races, even not just the black race. Because you can see something with the Asians, how they say Asians do a lot of suicide because on a hierarchy from the culture, the studying, and how their family raised them to be the best. Like, I got to be the best mathematician. And it's like, I met somebody and I was dealing with somebody that was dealing with it, and it was Asian. They was telling me, like, man, shit, how they had to be set outside, and all the mental abuse that I put on them. I never thought about it like, damn, how would I really deal with that? Then I look at it too, like, still, as being a black male in society, trained to be tough, show no fear, and be the strongest person. Even in the coldest time that we going through shit that, hey, you need somebody to talk to because you don't want to feel less of that.
Ask for no help either.
Then as you get older, it builds into so much stress.
Right.
And when you get into the mental health illness field and all the type of fields open up to, from trauma, informed care, all that, a lot of people work in the field, even me, we didn't dealt with shit that we sometimes be closed-minded with. And when it get to social media, like you're saying, the social media thing of things, they try to always put it like, oh, go to these places to do good. No, mental health and the social media just to me is like another jail. You're putting something in the box. Then you're supposed to try to just leave it in the box and say, yeah, we know it's fucked up, but it's supposed to get better and medicated.
Yeah.
And it's just want us to go around the social know because we as people know, like, in reality, is this really helping this person that would say, hey, I want to slit my throat? And am I really going to do a change? Yeah, you could talk to somebody, and we hear all the time, well, that one conversation could save somebody at that time. But also, somebody else triggering them, say, hey, maybe go slit your fucking throat because you keep wanting to burn yourself. You can't control that. It's just somebody has it in their self. Like, I was watching the movie Netflix, Alice in Borderland. And,
Oh yeah, yeah, I seen
and
it.
if you look at it, it still goes over the mental health theory, how people act in time of crisis. Like right now, we're playing the game, and that they would say right in the movie, whoever wins is going to live or die. Your psyche in your mind is like, yo, every move you make can be your last. But then the other person got trauma too, because it's like, if I win, I gotta watch this person die. Same thing like mental health, and there's a lot of them coming in like, if I do this drug or my parents fucked me up, I'm gonna do this. We had a few people that said, one dude said he jumped out of a moving car, but he's in there worried about pain medication, but you're burnt all the way over. His mental psyche is like, I already know if I go back home, I don't got nowhere to go. I'm a man, and who's gonna really talk to me? But you got all writing shit and doing crazy other shit inside this hospital to increase your pain. So it just goes back into the system's just flawed and fucked up. But when it comes back to your question to the media, it's still kind of like flawed because it could play a factor on it. But I just feel like once it's about one's true self, like how they were upraised and born, because everybody grew up differently and everybody see things differently. Sometimes people say, "Oh, you got a rough ass mouth." Yeah, I gotta be real. I can't sit there and sugarcoat shit
Right.
because hey, you have the picket fence. I don't have a picket fence. Sometimes people live check to check. Sometimes people are well off, and like right now, money make the world go round. If you can't pay a bill and they cut your shit off, that mess with your mental psyche. Then somebody else does not have that problem. Like, hey, I'm always well kept because X, Y, and Z. Maybe my parents, maybe my lover, maybe I was a trust fund baby. I got that paid, or maybe I was just this big drug dealer that I got money that or I'm in a celebrity. Whatever it goes down to, that they don't have to worry about certain things. But then it goes into obesity, cigarettes if I'm addicted, and it goes into everything. I got a gambling problem because people say mental illness is they're just crazy. Start off. I was in this good relationship. Then after the relationship was over, it got broken down, and the trauma started happening because hey, I was married, now I'm being divorced, and they take me for everything I got.
It's like social media like latches on to certain people. Like some now, a lot of times some of it is framed. It's like it's done on purpose. Like people bring attention to themselves in order to have clout on purpose. But a lot of times, if you allow it, the media will latch onto your life and will never let go. And then next thing you know, everything you do is public. It's gonna end up on the
I
shade
think a
room,
lot of
and
people are like that because it's just the publicity, and that's where it comes into the point that it's fun in the beginning to people that have been in the industry. It was like you see, like now Kanye West. Before he'd take pictures with Yeezy, now he's at the point like you see one segment he was like, "Can I go to my son's game without y'all recording me?"
right.
Because as you get older, or even some people when they start off younger, you don't want all that in my face. Just like the Paid in Full movie, I don't gotta be publicized to know I'm that person. But now,
And then the funny thing is, if you snap, then you look like you crazy, and then next thing you know, you end up, what I'm
Shade
saying,
Room TMZ.
Yep, shade room, or shoot, if you snap hard enough, then you might end up in the back of an ambulance.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean? So it's just like, again, you look at what is really the problem. Are the people who are reacting to the problem, or is it the way that we set people up to fail the problem? You know what I mean? So, or go ahead.
I just feel like us and just like brain because when it comes to the social media, you can look at it. They preside or presume black men to be. If you ever look at a lot of things, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and everybody want to say all this about R. Kelly, but and I always tell people, what about Hugh Hefner? That motherfucker's dead now, and everybody's like, well, but a lot of the Playboy girls say he raped them. He raped them, but when that was going on, pushed on the rug. Charlie Sheen giving out people HIV, pushed on the rug. I ain't saying R. Kelly did his bad, whatever. I don't know what's going on, but R. Kelly paid people's families off, did all that. But soon they got a group of black women to go on Lifetime to destroy this man. Even he's in the jail, they still destroying this man to make any money, but he paid for all of your families to do whatever. Not saying it's supposed to be okay, but under that mental illness, why would you send your daughter to R. Kelly to say he can go fuck on my daughter? Because what was you getting out of it? Money, publicity. I don't got to pay for her college, and she's gonna go fuck him anyways because she want to go be a hoe. And everybody's, oh, you can't say that. He can be powerful, but y'all trying to act like he didn't lure these girls and drug them to stay. He did the same thing Hugh Hefner did, but was quiet about it. Regardless, he didn't have the age, whatever was going on, then they bring up the lid. But all reality, how was this being possible? Because the media was, hey, that's a good story, let it go on. Same thing when it went down with Christiana Blueface. That girl fighting and beefing, it was okay. But you see when he fought the father, she fought the mother. They were so highlighted about that. But is that respectable? No. But the media sucked into it.
Right.
Natalie with the baddies, Baddies West. Yes, it's a good show, but it only shows our mental trauma that you see people drinking a lot on there because they're talking about, hey, I drink because I deal with this. And Jocelyn, this is why I like the cabaret when Jocelyn put a lot of the stripper chicks on there because they was keeping it real. Mm-hmm. I'm a drunk. I deal with trauma. I was raped. I was doing this, so I'm stripping. So it comes into again that was their mental illness and how they got over it. And a lot of people don't connect movies with shit like that when they say I had to box this to get to here to do that. I had to do here. Every movie has a plot, a setting, whatever. But you ever listen to certain main characters? They say even Scarface. I don't want my sister to go through what I was going through. I don't want her to sniff coke. I pay for you to go to school. I don't pay for you to be out here fucking motherfuckers because you take sacrifice. Even me, I sacrificed to come out here a lot of shit, and people don't understand. You don't got time to play because shit be real. Because if you set yourself back, you could bring yourself in a mental state that you're like, I didn't grind so hard. How the fuck I get back here? Because each dollar to me, you can be different for somebody else.
So you feel like in there's been points in your life where you felt like you've had to push away all that mental health shit aside and keep pushing it aside until because you feel like okay I want to be right here.
So mental health is not for the black folks. We don't get no mental health. Right. We got to get shot, killed, and we got to learn how to like shut our mouth. And we always setting each other back because I don't know. I just feel like as from growing up in two different times, I got a Caribbean background, a hood background, my mama's church background, and it's all still the same shit with politics. You gotta move straight fast like you're a shark in water with certain shit, especially in our color. If you're educated and you black, they're trying to fuck up your name. If you hood and black, they're trying to keep you from making money for your family because you already know if you already got a record, you ain't getting no damn job. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of people that work in the mental health field that have criminal records that can't go nowhere, and that's the only job they want to do. And it's very hard. So in that psyche, I have to come deal with somebody calling me fucking niggas, bitches, faggots, whatever you name it. Go back to your country, not thinking half these people ain't fucking mentally ill. They use it that way because they can't get away with disrespecting you in real life. Some of them want to say bipolar. Everybody have bipolar moments of which you snapping. You just go to the doctor and be diagnosed.
So do you think that we need to be careful about how we label like certain about how we label how we're feeling? Because like again like as we see a lot of people who go to mental hospitals, like you said, who don't actually who may or may not have like actual pending mental health issues. I think that we need to be careful with how we also label mental health because I believe that also if you label yourself as something you can't become it or something worse. You know what I'm saying? Because like, for example, especially during COVID, like I knew I was depressed. You know what I'm saying? And it got to a point where I really, really thought something was wrong with me. So I started digging and doing research. That's just my head. That's my head. Like I like to dig and do research and figure things out. It's just like you go have sex and then you don't use a condom or something and you like
it's such a repercussion though.
It's like I feel shit. I'm going on the internet and looking for what I'm saying. I'm looking at these diseases like shit. What if I have this? Shit. So you over here freaking out. It's basically the stresses that you put on yourself is adding on to what I'm saying. It could actually become something if you let it become something.
Yeah. Like you said, but with all that analogy, that's more so gambles. Like I feel like more so with mental health, like you said, because when I dealt with shit before I came to Georgia, and I'm just gonna share certain shit. I was a pops. I was dealing with myself. I was dealing with a lot of bullshit. Like I felt like I was dislocated from my mother, dislocated from my brother. I felt like I was just like in a bubble alone. It was just me and my twin. Like I'll call her my twin because me and her, that's my cousin, but she was like my sister. And we would fall off, but we connected right before I was doing this journey to Georgia. And there was a lot of people dying. That's why I said mental health was like really real. Like I had my ex who was cool, but before I was going to Georgia, like she had a stroke. She was dealing with somebody, and we still was cool. And I just watched her deteriorate and die. Then her aunt, then my boy. So I was like, damn.
So it was adding up.
It was adding up, but I wouldn't like identify that me dealing with trauma. I was dealing with a custody battle with my son, dealing with life situations with myself, and just relationship issues. Like who do I want to be with? Like, is this a healthy relationship for me? But when you juggle all that, and there was this picture they had on Facebook, this man holding his earth on the back. And I'm a Taurus, so I'm saying I'm an April Taurus, and I felt like, damn, that was me. Mm-hmm. a point in time. Then there's a well, maybe go see a therapist. And I was like, what the fuck I want to see a therapist for? But me dealing with trauma with my son, my baby mother, bullshit. We had to do this group father nurturing program. She had to do her shit, and we had to go see a therapist. So when I'm sitting with this therapist, I'm going through all the stuff she telling me to talk through. And at first I was like, yo, fuck this bitch. I ain't talking to her about none of this shit
Right.
because I just feel like it's just somebody listening. I was going to school for this. I was upset. I was angry until she was like, do you think you're depressed? I was like, what I'm depressed for? Because I was traveling, I was working with celebrities, I got to meet Jonas Lucas, I was doing shit with Brady and them, I was going around working at the hotels, traveling, I got to go to Houston, but I felt like I was depressed when I would come back to Boston.
Mm.
But I felt like I had to come back to Boston because that was my son.
That's something that was going on.
And like I didn't want to leave like my mom's at the time, but then it was like fuck that because she was like me and her like not tight. But
Mm.
again, that was part of more of my trauma for what she put me through with my pops. Same thing with my brother. Then same thing like when I learned from my friends. So when I'm talking to the therapist, she told me she said, so when this is all done, what are you gonna do? I'm like, it's never gonna be done. I'm a black man with a kid. My baby mother always gonna be the way she gonna
Mm.
be. But I gotta get to a psychic problem in my mind, like how I'm gonna get to point A to point B that I'm comfortable. Cause yeah, I gotta deal with the shit. Like I'm gonna deal with the shit till I die. So I got a kid, and I have to deal with like right now me not talking to my son for 3 years, for me having my son from 1 to 8 because somebody was being spiteful, and us being men, they don't really like think about shit like that. They think, oh, we're supposed to be tough, but kids are always supposed to be their mother. But when we're dislocated from their father, it's fucked up because then you don't know what is going on. One side is another side. So I was dealing with damn. I went through the same shit. My father's from Jamaica. My mom here. They bumped heads, dislocated. I seen him. 21, found out he was dead. It fucked me up for a little bit, but then I had to learn because the cycle continues. It wasn't just me. I started meeting a lot of brothers, girls, the same cycle, but just in our community. And it goes back to when you get the Madea movies, they'll watch the Madea movies, want to
Mm.
pray, and that's now all of it is about. We don't have a lot of black therapists to talk about the shit we go through as being a person of color.
That's actually I was actually gonna ask that, man. Like, cause I mean, I got personally, I don't see a therapist. I probably will at some point in the future, but do you? I was gonna ask you, do you think having like seeing a black, like somebody who actually knows your background, like now again, there's always those those people who you might those faces they might be black, but they don't understand. They might not
The
completely
culture.
understand what you the culture or what you going through for real, for real. So how important is it to have somebody that that's been through what been through or something similar what you've been through as as like a support system or somebody who you can actually talk to and who can professionally help you.
I still feel like nobody can really like help yourself because, like I said, there's this thing we did in my other job as like a house, how you want to build your house. So when I was telling the therapist the same thing, she was like, "Get away with your stressors." I was like close to like 500 pounds before I was like working out, no surgery, because I was just sitting there eating. I wasn't playing football no more. I just didn't want to be active. I didn't want to go to the gym. I was past gyms. It was so far that me battling like I want this to be this way. I want this to be this. I want to be a part of my son's life that I had to learn these are my stressors. So how are you gonna let your stressors go? Because they're telling me I'm diagnosed with depression. All right, bitch, I'm depressed. How many people depressed? There are people that are buried. I know my kid's mom, her daughter got shot in the face. That's some depression shit. I know my ex girlfriend, she died in her aunt's house in front of us. That's some depression shit, and her aunt died. And way before that, her brother got murdered. Her mother's still out there, has nobody. That's some real depression shit.
Mm-hmm.
We have people like my boy, he got hit last year. Depression shit. Even on the news where homeboy there got beat down by all them cops, his mother got to cry on the national news. That's some real depression shit. So how they supposed to get over it? You really
You
don't. It's
don't.
just
Right.
you got to tell your story, then just live with shit. But then again, go back to the culture. You go into other races, and we go into they mental health. They need to be donated. But when it comes to and everybody keeps saying the black community, it does have it because we don't have no outlet of that. It's either we smoking weed because I saw that's what I did. That was my main coping mechanism. Smoking weed. They was like, "What's a drug?" No, it's not. It's out of me fighting in the street, smoking weed, on fucking. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I was off the hook. I'm gonna be real because I was doing a lot of crazy shit. I could get into it like a lot of shit when I came to Atlanta because I had to pay bills, I had to pay rent, quick fast money. I was doing what the fuck I had to do because my father's dead. My brother was old type of person, and the life I was living wasn't what they was doing. It was like, oh, you're doing too much. I was dibbling, dabbling. People was asking me to do shit. Sex parties coming out, security, traveling. I don't do
Damn.
cocaine shit, but I was walking around a lot of people that was doing a lot of shit. But I was like, is this healthy for me? But who gonna pay for my nursing school? I needed $1,000 to put down for this. You can't take out a loan. Credit fucked up. You got to have a place to stay. So again, when I look at people that's coming into these hospitals, especially majority of some of these white folks and some of these Chinese folks are looking at them like, da da da. Then I look at the black folks, they working with them, but the black folks look cruddy. If you see some of them coming in, you ain't giving them real
Mm.
shampoo, real soap. Our pigment is different.
Oh yeah,
So when you
yeah.
looking in
That's a,
it,
yeah. No, let me.
so it's just like when you working in the field, I watch other hospitals that people can bring stuff, and I see other hospitals people get that little cheap shit. We different people of color. Like I can't use this little white lotion. I'm gonna
Yeah.
look ashy. I'm gonna look like a fucking slave.
I've actually gotten like comments about that too, because like when you working at the hospital, people gonna ask you all types of questions. They're gonna ask you what you can bring, what you can't bring. You know what I mean? And then I know a couple people asked me like, so I can't bring my own soap. I was like, nah, man. Wait, can I bring this? Nah, man. It's like,
And it's crazy because some places will let you. I can see not the bar soap because the bacteria, but the liquid soap, I don't understand why. Because if it's you getting it from the store, Walmart, and they doing the same thing with that fake ass shampoo that all hospitals. But it's kind of weird because some people have different like
yeah.
chemicals or alopecia or something.
How does that work on the unit? Like if you have, because I know that again, like they have the food thing, like they it's right down to allergic the food that you're allergic to, but what do they do on the unit for like
They supposed. I'm gonna just say, back at home how we did it, it was totally different because you could bring in some of your stuff, as long as it was sealed. Like if they want to bring in food, because everybody don't eat food, so everybody it would go into the point like culturally, you like fried chicken, I like baked chicken. So our cultures, we eat different shit. I'm not eating, no disrespect to anybody listening, no white people shit because the way we grew up, we didn't eat shit like that.
yeah,
I eat full cooked chicken, just like some Indians don't eat some type of food like they want to eat shit with yogurt.
we wash
So,
our chicken.
you know what I'm saying? So it's different stuff.
Yeah,
Like some Chinese folks just want to eat rice, and it's like they accommodate certain shit. But then at center hospitals, they want you to eat this certain food. Everybody don't eat fried chicken. Everybody don't want pasta. Everybody don't want soup. Everybody got different
mm,
allergies to food things. So when you're in a mental health hospital, it should be already clarified. A nutritionist is supposed to step up, not after a few days people come. And it's like in every hospital they do that all the time. But then it's like, is that really helping? Like the food you want to eat? Because if you already come into a hospital, let's be real. When we go to the ER, do they ask you that shit? What food you want to eat? Do they tell you, are you comfortable? You
mm-mm.
came here because you're sick, and I came here to get you better. People put on the psych wall like it's a hotel. I worked at the Marriott, I worked at the Hilton. It's two fucking different things. And I tell a lot of people why they say, oh, you're straightforward, you're mean. No. When somebody said they're going to kill themselves, I don't got time to keep playing, hey, you need a cookie?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
hey, the stove's hot. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't slit your throat already 2 times. Either you're going to fucking die or you want to live. You want to live, this is a real reality. Everybody got bills. Everybody deal with trauma. Yeah, you have a fuck up start, but what you got to do is build your fucked up. Like, I want $1 million. I want to go to school for free. Did we get that? You can say that 100 times. You can pray about it, like, yeah, it might come as God bless you, but as years we do, we age. And it was just,
When we get people like when we're getting patients, then there's a lot of them are going. Some of them, well, most of them are probably going through one of the worst times of their life, and it's people don't realize this, especially people who haven't dealt with stuff like that, having to want to kill themselves or having to want to slit their throat. Like they haven't dealt with stuff like that. So naturally, you want to make them feel as comfortable as possible, right? Like you would want them to feel like to have the things that they at least need. You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that can set somebody off. Like you imagine going. It's like a ticking time bomb. It's like you over here fucking with wires and she fucking with the little stuff and you press the wrong wire, they blow up. You
what
know
is
what I'm
that?
saying?
It's a gamble.
Yeah.
Life's a gamble. And I feel like a lot of people want you to feel bad. And it's like, remember Scary Movie when it first came on?
Mm.
And Sydney was at the thing, and the guy was at the top of the roof saying, I'm going to jump.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump.
Yeah.
I'm like fucking Sydney, even though she didn't do it on purpose. What are you waiting for? Because every day, are you going to jump? Because I'm going to be real. Like, back 2 years ago, I was working at this facility. And it's in a white area, kind of like mixed in the area back at home in West Roxbury. So there was this place, that's our facility. The lady on Christmas Day, they didn't post it to after Christmas Day. She called her kid's father, was like, Merry Christmas, you're leaving me, da da da. I got the kids, I'm about to bring them to you. One of the kids was calling him like, I think mommy's sick, will you come get us? Pops, I'm gonna meet him at, I'm gonna meet you. What she told him to meet at was like a train station. She went to the roof and jumped with one of the kids. The other kid pushed her, like he didn't jump with her. Killed herself and the baby on Christmas Day. So think about the trauma the father feels, but she went past a psych ward. So I feel like when people say, oh, I'm mentally crazy, I know people that have autism and can see it. Some of these people are being very spiteful and evil. It's not, oh, they got mental illness, they use a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
If you already have something wrong, and I feel like, okay, women having babies, why the fuck you having this baby? This person having mental illness. And I had to say that when I see certain women are pregnant or fathers tell them, I got this wife pregnant, yeah, it's a good thing for you. But what is that baby going to do? If you're not mentally right, are you going to give that baby for adoption? Because no, mentally you're going to fuck yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
Or you mentally going to bring that baby in the world to fuck them up.
Right.
And that's another segment. And then it comes into, once again, like we look at the dude that killed himself. I gave Trex right off the Ellen show. It's coming into controversy that I think his wife had something to do with it. And I thought the same shit too, because what a brother going himself to shoot myself down the street at some rinky dinky motel, and I'm on a fucking Ellen show. Ellen got canceled. Maybe again, I'm gonna say it's trauma. He can't pay this nice, all big expenses bill no more. Your wife low key telling you she gonna leave you, or she exposing you for whatever happened. Same thing, Will Smith. Everybody thinking he wasn't depressed and why he spent Chris Rock over Jada. His life is expiring as he get older. His sexual habits,
right.
His wife really loving Tupac, his kids emancipating themselves doing that one too. His career was up and down, and people, even though it was still going, they're trying to be so much in his personal life that he's spiraling. Like, I was this good guy from Philly, not trying to show my Philly side, but it's coming to a point. I'm mentally slappy. Like, and I felt him. I felt like him smacking Chris Rock was acceptable. Stop talking about my bitch because I smack you. We supposed to be boys. Why would you get on national TV? And that's why I said the media, again, gets us on TV to buffoon against each other and others. It's not even a color thing. It could be anybody. People go on Saturday Night Live. They go on the roast.
And that leaves rooms for like conspiracy theories and everything. Man.
And wounds. Like if you look at Love and Hip Hop, like if you watch Love and Hip Hop from the beginning now, and I love seeing. I met Jocelyn Hernandez when I came out to Atlanta, and I was laughing. I was like, "Hello, man." She like, "Motherfucker, you know who the maid is." And me and her had a real like cool conversation in the after hour because she was telling me, she was like, this TV shit is cool, but she said for me stripping, a lot of people don't understand for her stripping. She like selling pussy and all that. I don't think she was even going to share that shit. She was just like, and coming into now, her dealing with Stevie J and knowing some of his secrets. And she had a lot of shit to say, what she was saying, and then being who she was with right now, Ballistic. And she said, if you look at all the shows, I was this. And she like, little people didn't know, I'm a man, I'm this. That shit, she said, that shit fucking scarred me. But she's like, now look at me now. I'm going on all these shows, and that's to have somebody tell me I wasn't going to be this way. And she's like, and also he put me on the game too, and it was really cool to listen to her. Even Amaya Scott, when I met Amaya Scott, we had a conversation about trans and this that before, cause I was getting arguments with people because I was like this tranny bitch or whatever I was saying. And I was trying, no, I was saying it just like this, not to be funny because she was like, there's two sides of the spectrum. So when I was talking to Amaya Scott and I seen her, because she was trying to pick me up, which crazy as shit, and we were just calling, I was like, I ain't into shit like that. But she said she liked me for the simple fact because how I said it, because I said I can't respect. And here it goes, if you see in the mental health segment right now, you see a lot of trans coming in that don't know how to deal with it because in their mental state, hey, I'm a guy, but I'm really a woman right now. And some of them, they really are. Or I'm a girl and I'm a man. But then it comes into the social realm that you got to realize the world, like this is the world. I'm trans, I'm bi, I'm straight, whatever. But everybody's looking at the trans folks like, because women, you're going to be a man, you're going to be a chick, you're going to be a guy, you're going to be a girl.
Yeah. They so still, like, no matter what, we still putting people in the boxes. Like, no matter what nobody say, like, you know, we say.
But the mental illness, but there was not so much in a box if you look at it. Now, if you go into a hospital, and they had this segment, if you Google it, it was a guy in jail. He said he was trans. He got in jail, he was fucking all them girls, got them girls pregnant. So again, you saying this, but then 1 minute, and you hear Kris Jenner saying he wants to be a guy again after he did the surgery. Their mental health state saying, hey, I wanted to be a woman because out of the attention, out of something in their psyche was not helpful as them as a man. Like, hey, I probably am happy. I don't look at myself in the mirror, but if I put on some makeup, I feel happy. But then as you get older, like people do hormone shots, these hormones, even more girls with these butt cheeks and shit. You get older and shit is not how you thought it was. And your mind start really saying, why did you do this? Even like tattoos, I tell people, I got a whole bunch of tattoos, but get something that resemble you. But when you go into the sex change and all like that, I tell a lot of people, if you're gonna cut off your penis or your dick or whatever, your coochie, and you're gonna do this, you ain't coming back, ain't that one fix. You hear a lot of people that said there's repercussions for doing that surgery.
Right.
And they get in the hospital, and we coming in there, like, I'm gonna be real, one time I was in my old hospital, we had this trans person, they didn't want no chicks to search them because they said, I'm a dude, I need to do the surgery. Then we had one trans person, they just wanted, they saw the dick and titties, they wanted the guy to search them. So me and this dude sitting here, I'm like, how the fuck?
Yeah, and I think that's,
and it's a lot.
Cause that's a lot, man. Like, we gotta, I'm not gonna get too much into that part, but we
But
gotta
it's in
we
the
gotta we
hospital.
gotta
You're gonna see a
yeah.
lot of it because they don't
Mm-hmm.
talk about it. But you got to get so also educated because their mindset is like waiting for us to like pick them out. Like, oh, what the fuck is going on? And I notice when I don't pay attention to them, they start talking like, my mom didn't let me because I'm doing this. I'm happy you said this, but I don't know if I really should have did the surgery. I thought I was happy. Then you start really understanding. That's why I said I want to be a therapist because then when people want to talk to you, sometimes you can't be nice. Everybody be thinking, oh, I gotta be nice. I gotta be nice because you're a drug addict. I'm a black male in society that I gotta watch motherfuckers kill us every day, and my own color go against me. But I gotta feel bad for somebody that I gotta say, hey, you shouldn't be smoking because listen, you're gonna die if you keep smoking. But I'm gonna say, hey, here's some cup of water, here's a cigarette. No, the fuck I'm not. I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you keep smoking,
Yeah.
I can die, you can die. I can get secondhand smoke or you can get cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And like you just said, if I'm fucking everybody raw all the time and without using a condom, it leads into an STD. If you don't learn the first few times, you get a shot in your ass, penicillin, what else happened? Get HIV, get chlamydia, get crap, shit don't go away. So is it gonna take you to learn that or you shit gonna just be burning you passing diseases?
So basically, we need to start treating mental health a little bit differently. Like, because again, this was like putting a band-aid on like a wound. Like, you know what I mean? You can't just keep covering stuff up with lies and
They
a
baby
little bit of
motherfuckers.
hospital and
It became a money
yeah,
game. If you got good
cause
insurance, they love that shit. Which I
yeah,
get it because
man.
dealing with the shit is a lot, but then it comes to the point if you really look back, like, are you helping these people?
That's this kind of. I'm actually gonna lean a little bit towards that because the I know the hospitals. In order to take somebody or admit somebody into the hospital, especially like involuntarily, you got to go. You got to do the whole process with a physician or a licensed therapist, and you write up a 1013 and bam, they're in the back of an ambulance. But what are we doing um, to discern whether or not a person actually has a serious mental health issue or the physician has like? Because I've met people, what I'm saying, who don't really need to be there, but they got put on the back of a 1013 because somebody had beef with them. Or what are we really? Are we first question? Are we really are we really like training our professionals the right way? And second, what is it? How do we discern whether or not a person has an actual mental health issue or has a mental health crisis? And is there and on the way to that to that spot, like onto the way to the mental hospital, do we have people who are also are trained and have a trained eye in seeing if a person has a mental health issue and can speak up and say, hey, I don't know if this person needs to be here, or hey, this and that, and
It's
you could
both
really
of
be
them.
further messing somebody up, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You
Like
fuck them all the way up. But
you
if
because
you look at all the movies too, like all the shit that happens all the time. Because think about somebody writing 1013. I'm saying, hey, Jeremy, I ain't fucking crazy. These motherfuckers saying I'm crazy. Sometimes they ain't crazy. Sometimes they are. It's just how they gotta just it's precaution. You don't know the person go through this like going through the spectrum realm.
mm-hmm.
They gotta go through the realm. So you go through it. How you got here, you get through. But you see the result revolving doors of people coming back.
Mm-hmm.
They keep coming back. They keep coming back. So it's like, all right, I watch those. Like, all right, why the fuck they keep coming back? Because then you see some people,
They
all the
enjoy
clothes,
being some of
yeah.
them, like especially like the adolescents, man.
Parents do that for babysitting shit.
Yeah,
Your kid can't be that mental because your kid's mental, you're fucking mental too. Because how the fuck your kid's already mental, you push that motherfucker out.
mm-hmm.
And if you look at half of the kids, you hear the trauma, and it goes back into, like I said earlier, parents beefing. That's why I had to look into throwing my white flag because with my son too, same shit. We was going head to head. I used to think all the time I fucked up because I got a biracial baby because the stigma's everything my grandparents said, my father's people said. I'm hearing it, the nigga shit, all the other shit, but then I had to eat it up because the world we seeing it the same shit, but at the same time, how I gotta embrace my son to love his culture and love his other culture because I ain't never gonna talk to that bitch, his mother. I already told him like it's never gonna be that way, but the trauma he's gonna have to deal with, like you're never gonna have a family photo because we're never gonna do that, and that's just reality. They was oh that's messed up. No, I gotta be truthful because I'm still a man to let him know you never let nobody disrespect your culture or disrespect you to be. I remember my uncle told me one time you should be a sucker and you gotta get what you want, and I said I can never be a sucker because I'm a boss. And I
So
had to tell my one of my bosses that today when she told me like, hey, all the supervisors don't like you. Well, I don't give a fuck they don't like me because they're not doing their job. And that's what goes in this field. A lot of people don't do their job because
that's
hey, I
right.
became a nurse, so I'm gonna tell the tech to do the job. Tech's job is supposed to deal with the patient
Patience, right?
and not
And
to
you
keep doing
can't,
nurse's
yeah,
job. And then
yeah.
when you find in a lot of facilities that A lot of people don't want to be techs, and the reason they don't want to be techs because you got to think
It's like
about it. I don't
you
need
the
eight
emotional, you the emotional, physical punching bag.
bag exactly, and you said it perfectly, kid. Emotional, physical punch bag. So every time you come to work, people ask me, "Why ain't you smiling?" What the fuck I'm smiling for? Because you want me to smile so much. Yeah, some days I'm gonna laugh, but when it comes into I gotta lock a grown person's door and tell them, hey, not to go in somebody's room. That's common sense. You already came in. Or I gotta say, hey, it's time for y'all to go to group, but everybody would know a smoke break though. You tell me, oh, you work for me. It's just like the logic of detoxing and mental health. But I worked in a dual diagnosis unit that I had both. And we're gonna have a dual diagnosis unit. Everybody supposed to be going to fucking groups. That their therapists are supposed to be meeting, but we don't see therapists coming on the ground. You don't see all these people coming. It's lead. Oh, the tech's got to run a group. How you want to have a tech to run a group that they ain't supposed to be running because you can't really get into. Because then most techs, I mean, we run these groups and we do better than the
The
therapist.
therapist, right?
But the therapist is just a paper. That's why I said as soon as I be a therapist, I do the same shit. I'm a facilitator. I did a million counts. I did a lot of shit, but it doesn't really matter because some people overlook you for you knowing too much. If you know the field nurses know about you, they don't want to give you referrals. It becomes into if this motherfucker become a nurse, he gonna take my money, or she become a nurse. Because nurse is just another step up from a tech. You go to school.
It honestly seems like a joke to me.
You're trying to
It seems like a joke because then it seems like we are honestly we're no better. Like we need to be in the same spot they are because again, if you so worried about like you more worried about yourself than you were about the people that you're dealing with every day, then you got mental health issues as well.
But
You know what I'm
there's a lot
saying?
of texting people, and that's the thing they do, and that's why you see a lot of people that say, "Hey, no, I got time out," and you see a lot of people that Chuck, they smoke cigarettes, and that's why I don't like smoking cigarettes. I'm like, I don't smoke cigarettes, but a lot of them are like, hey, I like that smoke break because they said that's going to calm a patient down. I said, let's be real, let's keep it real. If you on the street, you ask me, hey, can I get money for a cigarette? I tell you no, you don't smoke. But if you go on another units, hey, there ain't no community, and I hate that shit because it's going to, if you go to jail, you think I'm getting the fuck right out? No, I'm not. If I do a crime, so it's just like you came here saying you're off the hook and you got to be treated like that. But other people are like, oh, you got to keep them down. It's always going to be cold. I understand that. If you're on a group, yeah, you should smoke. But if you're like, fuck y'all, I'm going to lay in my bed. That's my job. I've been here. I know how to rodeo. What do I look like catering to help this person if you already said, fuck you, you already know that. And sometimes that's how the game goes.
With the things that people do because people are always going to do what they do. But if you look macro, you look at the bigger picture. The thing that allows people that when you have to put people without order, there's chaos. So the thing that creates order in a space like this and mental health issue, and not only just for the patients, but for the people who are actually dealing with the patients. The only way to actually change stuff like this is to create better policies and to create better rules in order to ensure certain types of a certain type of care for the patients that we dealing with. You know what I mean? So, for example, like this, and this is something that I've been kind of dealing with as well. Like, I went to school for sociology. You know what I mean? And it was a big thing. I've always had a big heart for it don't matter what type of people. I've always had a big heart for people, and that's why I came. Honestly, that's why I came and worked where I'm working right now because I wanted to see it in real time. I wanted to see it in real life. And I think that's honestly the best decision I ever made taking a year off of school because I want to go get my master's. I think that was the best decision I ever made because now I'm seeing the big picture. The picture is that you can't change anything without changing yourself. You have to see what you see. You have to work. You have to actually work in directly with people in order to help people when you get to a certain level. You know what I'm saying?
You change, but it's just like people always get through the loopholes. Because, like you said, you do a policy, you got to get people to come and want to enforce them. Like I said, hey, no smoke break, but some people are like, hey, I need cigarettes. And it does work for some people. It's just all these loopholes to deal with. What type of patients you need to have on, what type of patients you're trying to care for. If I'm caring for people that are suicide, and they may be thinking that's just going to be an open door shut. There's never open door shut because some people say, hey, I'm good as shit and leave and kill themselves. You can have the best policy. It just come into with human, I'm learning human growth and human development and working in the human service field. You really don't fucking know. You really just got to be straight. I feel like straightforward. You can have your policies in, but even a lot of hospitals have policies. But when you sit with that one person, like, hey, this person is. This is just like Precious, for instance, the movie Precious. Look at all the shit she went through. That even at the end of the movie, her life was fucked. Like she got people not so really fucked, but she went through doing all that by herself. Mother trauma, being raped, having a disability child, having another baby to find out my stepfather made me give me HIV and that motherfucker I love, I can never really feel like I want to be with, and I got to continue on. And that was based off the book Push. But when she told Maya Carey, when the worker was talking to her, she's like, you can't handle this. And with her telling a lot of stuff like that, she really couldn't. And everybody don't really grasp that movie. These are funny parts. Even I laughed when she stole and grabbed the chicken. But in reality, she was fucking hungry because she pregnant and running. And I'm like, my brother was, how the fuck you laughing at the movie? But I'm laughing at it because, I'm smoking my blunt. I'm chilling. I'm being 100 with it. And I'm laughing because I'm looking at the movie. It's fucked up. We know it's fucked up. But I know plenty of girls that's like Precious and became to be nurses, doctor. But at the same time, the trauma of getting there to where you got to go from the spectrum. If you from the hood, you already know, like, the best way if I got to be a rapper, sell drugs, go to school. Sometimes your family ain't supporting that vision. So when you're in that realm, like I said, you can go to the mental health facility, you just have a nervous breakdown. We had one guy in there, he kept going in and out, but he's sleeping. So I said, bro, you sleeping here, what are you doing? And I said, you black like me, they don't give a fuck. Like, comb your hair, do something. What is your next step? Because when you leave here, you're only in your 30s. Who's going to help a grown-ass man?
Right.
As all reality, that's what it comes down to. Even during COVID, they was killing niggas left and right. Mm-hmm. That was messing with a lot of nurses' psyche, mental health, that they was going to the psych ward. And now they playing God. Who's going to live? Who's going to die? Right. Because their boss is saying, hey, cut that person off the ventilator. Cut that person off the ventilator.
So that brings, I think this might be one of my last questions, man. So what are we doing to make sure the mental health professionals that we have are actually are mentally capable as well? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because again, it's understandable that a lot of people in the field are, this stuff affects people. You know what I'm saying? You go home every day. It's hard. People say leave work at home. It's hard to do that. It's hard to do that shit. It's hard to do that, man. So what are we doing to make sure that our professionals are actually taken care of? Are we checking up on their mental health the right way? Are we doing enough to make sure that they're okay more so than we are than the patients? Like, and do you think that will help retention rate as well? Because again, we short staffing, and it's not just us. It's a lot of people.
Because a lot of people can't deal with that. Like, even if you go on YouTube, is this really good segment. You gotta check it out. It's called Cracked. I might have to send it to you.
Yeah, I've heard of Cracked. Yeah.
But if you look at Cracked, it goes into people working at the psych ward. This is Spectrum when they was talking about over, I think, 10,000 doctors that's working in the field have psychiatric issues and want to commit suicide, quit their job, change their careers, and have more issues than people in the psych ward. Because of all the shit they got to hear. People arguing with them, I got to get medication, or lying about getting medication. When you watch it, you start to see some of the patients that we encountered. So I'm thinking about, all right, if that doctor's dealing with all these people, I'm just attacked. He's dealing with all these people, cussing them out, doing this. So they give sometimes, hey, just give them all that medication, do this. Their psyche's fucking up because when they going home, they bring in all that shit in their head, like, yeah, this person's crazy, just crazy. But with us, we got to hear the whole thing. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to do this. When you work, you're like, I'm this person, I'm really trying to kill myself. Because, that's all you can do, wish for the best, but at the same time, you have no control over it. I feel like it's, again, human nature. If this person want to kill themselves, they want to kill themselves. This person want to get better, they want to get better. But it got to be a process. So you can have policy, you can say, hey, follow this policy, it's going to work. But we're doing with human people. Like, right. That policy might work for like 20 of these people, another half, it flops. So it got to go into the person and their diagnosis. So if you're really detoxing, you shouldn't be going to units that's not about your detox, because it's going to shift you to make you learn other shit. If you're supposed to be on a dual diagnosis, knowing that you getting high, you have a mental disorder because you snap in, but you like to do drugs, you should be on just a dual diagnosis unit with dual diagnosis people.
So by solving problems, we can also be trying to solve problems.
We have been creating a lot of them because they've been mixing in because people can't, they just can't deal with a lot of that shit. It takes a lot to deal with the field we do. It's crazy because people are doing shit. I done caught people dead. I done seen people leave, kill themselves. People slit their throats. People try to drink alcohol. It's just like, it's really a series of home, wellness, and aftercare. Because if they don't have a strong aftercare plan, all the work they did at the hospital was
Don't
worth
matter
it. Yeah,
nothing.
because now they're
Don't mean
going right
nothing.
back into the wolves. Like, and that's
Exactly.
what one girl told me at my other job. She said, my discharge plan is send me right to a place that I even have a place at home. So I went back to the street.
Mm.
Because she said, who's going to help me? They dropped her right back off. She's supposed to have a bed at this place. The person said the discharge plan never gave her a bed. She couldn't stay there.
A lot of people just can't do better because they don't have a chance to do better. You know what I'm saying? It's like you in this you might be getting better in this hospital. Because some people have different. The truth is, some people have different experiences with different with the same place. Like, you know what I'm saying? One person can say, "Oh, I had a horrible experience. I don't recommend you go here at all. Man, they finna be doing this, and that." And the next person can be like, "I had a great time. I mean,
True.
I think they really helped me. But the only problem was that when I left, like, the world is not what it is in there. The world changed. The world is tough. The world is you know what I'm saying?
Reality. What you can do. Yes, no. This is not how it's going to go.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's all we got for y'all, man. I appreciate you, coming out, man. I know you it was a little drive, so I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming out, man. Good
Should have seen the young
conversation.
man.
This man.